Minnesota health officials say nitrate contamination is all too common in Winona, Houston, and Fillmore County groundwater. The State Department of Health says the chemical compound is linked to serious health risks like cancer and blue baby syndrome.
One of the easiest ways it gets into groundwater is manure runoff from farms. News 8 Now's Allison Fergut explains a new proposal that would restrict certain farming practices to lower Minnesota's nitrate levels. Allison.
Ken and Emily, that Department of Agriculture report found that more than 1 in 10 southeastern Minnesota private wells have unsafe nitrate levels. Unique geological features make the area even more at risk to nitrate contamination. Environmental advocates say proposed changes to 2 permits would regulate the state's largest feedlots to protect vulnerable areas.
What this permit does is add some very common sense kinds of protections that will help address the nitrate pollution problem.
Major changes could soon be coming to Minnesota's largest feedlots. Minnesota's Pollution Control Agency has proposed changes to large facility permits that impact manure policies.
In the areas where the groundwater needs the most protection, those vulnerable areas, there are additional practices that farmers will have to follow.
The new requirements can be broken down into 3 parts. The first is when the manure is spread, requiring other crops be planted during some seasons.
When you apply manure in the fall, it's best if there are cover crops being planted at that same time in order to use that nitrogen. Otherwise, it's very likely that that nitrogen is going to run off.
Farmers will also be required to go through visual inspections.
Once you are spreading the manure, you have to go around the field and look and see, is this washing off into the ditch?
Farmers will need to inspect their fields while manure is being applied and at the end of every workday. The last part focuses on manure ownership.
If the feedlot transfers manure to someone else to apply on their fields, that person that bought the manure has to follow the same rules as the person who sold the manure.
The permit changes would only impact 1,000 of the state's 17,000 registered livestock feedlots. Anderson hopes there will be greater changes later on.
This is what we would like to see for a first step, and we think that things need to go a lot farther.
In a statement, the MPCA says the changes would not be enforced until 2028, saying the proposed requirements are a significant change for the farmers, and they will need time to determine how to implement the changes. Some agricultural advocates are concerned the changes will hurt the state's farming industry, but Anderson says clean drinking water for all is more important.
This is hurting rural people. They have to take the steps that could cost, if digging a new well is tens of thousands of dollars to make sure that they're protected from this nitrate that's getting into the groundwater.
Minnesotans have until August 9th to comment on the proposed permit changes. Then the MPCA will decide whether to adopt them. Ken and Emily?
All right, Allison, thank you very much. And MDH is hosting a water quality public meeting at Rushford Peterson School right now until 8 p.m. tonight. Private well owners in the area can bring in a sample of their water to get it tested for nitrates free of charge.